Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another episode of the Muslim Millennials podcast. This is your boy Mamadou Tao coming to you from Egypt, Cairo. Today I am so excited. I'm joined by the super awesome and my good friend Alaa Izzeddin, who is an aspiring fashion designer. Yeah, is that right?
Yes.
Cool. So today we have a very interesting topic. I know those who know me know, again, I talk a lot about race issues, race politics, but it's also always coming from the perspective of those living in the West. So now I want to get an idea of what it's like. I mean, we see those videos online that go viral of like sometimes from the West of them being a black person living in a Muslim majority country, an Arab majority country, being dark skinned, kind of the views they have against you, the racism that people face daily. But again, this is just YouTube videos. So I kind of want to get like first-hand experience, what it's like, yeah? So almost like straight away, as your experience, you are half Egyptian, half Sudanese.
Half Sudanese, yeah.
But you can get away with being Egyptian.
Totally.
Or you can get away with being Sudanese.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's
I get away by looking Egyptian a lot more than looking Sudanese.
Okay, and yeah, I mean, I've lived here for almost 4 years now, so I can see how people can think it just from maybe Aswan, from Luxor, from... Or even from Cairo.
Actually, a lot of the time, people look at the people from Aswan and Luxor. They think they're Sudanese.
Oh, really?
They don't immediately register that they might be Egyptian.
Okay.
Yeah, so that happens a lot, actually.
Okay, wicked, man. So, as your experience then, as someone, a person of color, even though you can say Egyptians are people of color as well, but you know, in kind of Western terms, people of color, how was your experience in Egypt?
Okay. Well, as a initial disclaimer, a lot of the people here are actually more tolerant and understanding.
Okay.
But there is a group of people that don't really understand that their comments and their actions can be blatantly ignorant and racist.
Okay.
And that's
what... But you just made a distinction between ignorant and racist. Are they racist or are they ignorant or are they both?
They're both, and they're ignorant to the fact that they are racist sometimes, which is, I find really interesting. And most of the time they jump into like trying to justify why a comment was said. So they'll be like, no, we're just kidding. I think you're taking it too sensitively, or it's just a joke. You know, chill with it. But it's not like that. They don't understand the impact of certain comments that might seem so ridiculously insignificant, but it actually does a lot of damage.
So give me some examples of some of the comments that someone may face, a person who's darker skinned in Egypt.
You're very beautiful for a black girl.
Wow.
You're very beautiful for a Sudanese.
Wow.
Yeah. And the one I love is like, when you have a bad day, for example, or you say, oh, I don't think my makeup looks good or whatever, they'll say, you know, you're black, but you're beautiful. I hear that a lot, and not necessarily me, but a lot of other darker women who live in Egypt, they get that even a lot more than me.
Wow.
It's like it's always black, but like, you know, there's something negative about you, but you know what? This is the positive. It's never black and beautiful, which I find very infuriating. Like, I am black and beautiful. Why are they mutually exclusive?
Wow.
Which is something people don't get.
So how do people but is that almost a daily lived experience for people? And where does that come from, do you think? Does that come from, like, is it that the country promotes that? Is it that it's just a society thing? Is it because they see dark-skinned people in a certain way? Because I've had people in my own experience say to me, we're not African, I'm Egyptian. And I'm just like, I'm like, Zay. Like, where is that? I'm like, where is
Geography?
Egypt? And I'm like, where is Egypt? No, Arab. I'm like, we're Arab. I'm like...
Actually, they think of themselves as, most of them, they think of themselves as a criteria of their own. So they'll say Egypt and Africa. Yeah. As if Egypt is a continent on its own. Yeah. Which is so ridiculous. Like, they had a song when the whole African Cup thing. Yeah. They had a song. So people researched and decided to write lyrics saying, Africa is coming to Egypt. Like, those are the lyrics to a song that we're playing on TV.
So it seems like it's almost like every level of society then.
Yeah. I'll answer your first question about whether certain people get that's a daily struggle for them more than others. Definitely. Okay. So like, I always say that there's something called light skin privilege, which I and a lot of my sister and a lot of people have. We don't face the same discriminations a lot because we can get away by just looking Egyptian.
Wow.
But then you have the Somali, my Somali friends, or like my darker skinned Sudanese friends. They struggle a lot more than I do, because I had a friend who was chased out of a fast food restaurant being called the N-word until she was able to escape them. And they chased after her for like more than one block.
But chased after her meaning like they wanted to talk to her?
They were taunting her. They were just taunting her, calling her the N-word, calling her in Arabic and in English. Yeah. And she had to make a scene, and she had to call for a friend to come help her out. And that rarely happens to me. You know? So
that could be someone's daily lived experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's something I realized I had, because I thought I was having it hard, but when I had conversations with other women who were facing it a lot more hard than me, I had to understand that I actually need to use my place to start representing for other, for more melanated women, for different kinds of colored women, not just me. You know, I actually got it easy.
But where do you think that stems from then? Is it from the way people are grown up here? Is it because of the images they have of black people? I mean, I've had even, for example, like teachers of mine say to me that, you know, you're very calm for a black person. You know, you're very calm for black. And for them, and I don't even think it's racism. As much as I would like to say you're being racist, but I feel like for them, that concept of racism that we have and kind of race sensitive, it doesn't register. It's so like, it's just ignorant.
Exactly. Some are very aware of their racism, by the way.
Okay.
Because I had a specific encounter with one guy who I don't mind naming, but I'm not going to do that.
Please don't.
Who was when he found out that I'm Sudanese, he started talking about, you know, I have a plantation. I have a plantation in my backyard. Why don't you come pick some cotton? And he took the joke so far, constantly calling me the N-word, and it was ridiculous, to the point where I had to, when the situation became very, very annoying and infuriating, I had to block him. I wish I put hands on him, seriously. It was very racist, and he thought it was a joke. So some people are very aware of their racism, because if you are in 2019 and you don't think what you said doesn't register as racist, a racial slur, then you are, I'm sorry, you must be insane. But then there are others who don't. They really are ignorant. They think it's like, we're all Africans, or you know, we're not Americans, so it's fine. You know, we didn't have slaves in Egypt, so it's okay to do that. They actually don't understand that it's not appropriate. So I feel like they need to be taught more than, you know, attacked. Some people deserve to be attacked.
But then the thing is, this is like a Muslim country, and we have the notion of we are all one ummah. And we know the Prophet ﷺ's final khutbah was like, you know, an Arab is not better than a non-Arab, and a non-Arab is not better than a white and black, and we know the sermon very well. So how come that doesn't seem to be translating into the people?
Because culture plays a really big part.
So are we saying Arab culture? Look, let's be really specific. I don't like generalizing. Is there anti-blackness in Egyptian culture?
Anti-blackness means that anti-blackness is a strong definition. Yeah. But there's definitely ignorance to the black struggle.
Okay.
That's why a lot of people are not offended by blackface in a lot of the Egyptian movies or the Egyptian plays. Yes, it's not like, that's not controversial.
It doesn't have the same historical
depth or historical weight to it as it is in America. Yeah. That is true. So I wouldn't say they're anti-black, because that just means that they don't want the black people to get out of here. Yeah. They don't do that. Okay. They can be, insensitive in certain aspects when it comes to marriage, when it comes to certain things.
I'm going to get onto marriage.
Yeah, I've got a lot to say about that. But other than that, I feel like I don't think, again, I'm not the one to really give a complete image of what it's like, but I don't feel like it's an anti-black thing.
There's not anti-black culture, but it's like they're ignorant
to the culture, to the black struggle, to the black history. I've had people, telling me, "Oh my God, is Sudan in Giza?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Sudan's Nasr City. That's where it is." So, and do you speak African? So they have. I don't know what it is. I think the educational system can be very disappointing.
So, but that means then, if on a balance of scales, do you think it's more that they've internalized and that they're aware that they're being racist, or is it more to do with they're just ignorant? Because I'd rather people be ignorant than be aware of their racism.
Yeah, I think when people are ignorant, there's a chance,
exactly,
an opportunity to learn.
Them.
Yeah, but like I said, it depends on the person.
Okay.
On the exposure.
Okay.
Some people who I cannot tolerate someone who can be racist when they're exposed to different cultures and has the education, or the resources to understand more about the struggle or understand about it, because it's 2019, the internet is everywhere. But then if I go to someone who doesn't have that same exposure, I can't blame him for his ignorance. Okay. I can try to teach him. Yeah. But if you're educated enough to understand for yourself and you still choose to remain ignorant, that's a whole nother conversation. Because this is a choice. You're making a choice to ignore a complete, historical understanding of an ethnicity.
Exactly. No, totally agree with you. But just back on the question of a balance of probabilities, do you think in Egypt it's more to do with ignorance than it has to do with actually someone who, is it ignorance and lack of exposure, or is it ignorant? Is it someone who actually, I have internalized being anti-black?
I think the ratio of ignorance is a lot higher.
Okay.
Than
so then there's hope then.
Definitely.
Yes, it's not
because I do have a lot of people who sit and they want to listen. They want to listen to our stories. They want to know what's going on. They talk to my other friends and they try to help. Yeah. Some listen and just ignore it because they don't think it's a problem they face here every day. So it's not, something but I know that they wouldn't be racist towards these people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what. But I think most of it is ignorance.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, cool. So let's talk about what it's like on societal in terms of marriage. Is it cool for a dark-skinned person? But what I find, first before I even get there, what I find very strange about Egypt is you get dark-skinned Egyptians, darker anyway. And you get from Egypt, for me, in Egypt, there's no one look.
And they still have a hard time.
And you still have you look at Egypt, you have the whitest of the white, and you have people who are maybe a tone or 2 tones lighter than me, and they're all Egyptian. Do those people face the same issues as well?
I think so. Because it's not about where they're from.
Okay.
It's about the shade.
Wow.
It's about, I hear this a lot from so many men, including family members who go up to their moms and they're like, I want you to, they go to their moms and they're like, find me a beautiful white bride. So the first thing that comes out of their mouth, or the first criteria where they think this girl is beautiful, is if she's white.
Wow.
So I hear that all the time. And I've had families not consider me for the marriage of their son because they think I would ruin the gene pool or I would downgrade it. Not just for being black, but also for being Sudanese. So that's a whole other thing as well.
Wow. But then you're in an interesting position because you're mixed.
I am mixed. Yeah. It's
How did your family come about?
Oh my God. That story. Well, my dad came to Egypt for a job opportunity, and then he met my mom.
Yeah.
They fell in love. They called her crazy, of course.
Really?
Yeah. She had a hard time convincing certain family members that, because my dad started off with nothing and he was still coming to Egypt to establish himself. So he wasn't really. So he was broke, black, and Sudanese. Yeah. So he ticked all the no boxes.
Exactly.
And so, but she was in love with him and she believed in him, and they did well together. Yeah. But she had a really hard time around her community letting, for them to accept that she chose this man.
Wow.
They would say why would you do that to yourself, as if it's a disease, or it's crazy. But anyway, so.
But then that was when did your parents get married?
They got married 1993.
1990s. Has things got better now?
Yeah, well, things got better because my dad did well.
No, I mean not in your family. So I mean in society level. Is that story happened to your parents? Is that still a rare thing, or could that be more?
I don't see it often. It's not like a thing in interracial marriages here.
Okay.
Or I haven't really witnessed a lot of it.
Yeah.
You hear about, I'll meet someone and be like, oh my God, my mom is Sudanese, but I never actually see if their mom is Sudanese. So they look white, but they tell me their mom is Sudanese, and I don't see that. But yeah, I think I have a friend whose sister married a white man. She's Sudanese, and she married an Egyptian man, not white, sorry, Egyptian man. So I think there is interracial marriage, but it's not as common because most of the time, again, the guy plays around with, you know, he spends most of the time, you know, getting girlfriends and stuff, but when he wants to settle, and that's not the majority, again, there's a percentage of men in Egypt, when they want to settle, they go to their moms, find me this and this and this, and the mom thinks that the girl deemed appropriate for her son is a white Egyptian girl with the beautiful hair, you know, not with the nappy, curly, 4C hair, you know, so that's why. But I think, yeah, hopefully there are more interracial marriages. But
I find that quite strange because my experience of many Egyptian men here, again, I can't generalize, but just from my experience, is that they seem to like girls with a bit of color.
They do. I think, yeah, well, okay. Here's the thing. The girls of color there's a power to the way they handle themselves. Yeah. And especially when you don't mind getting the attention. Yeah. Because, okay, a girl will braid her hair, do the twists, and then a white girl or an Egyptian girl will do the same. Yeah. So they're really copying that culture. Yeah. And so when you're a woman of color or a man of color, you have a certain swag that the opposite gender finds attractive. Yeah. But I've never really heard of a story where that same guy fought for her against, you know, with his parents. He didn't go like, no, I want to marry the Sudanese girl, or I haven't heard of that. Hopefully it's going on. Hopefully he doesn't have to go to those lengths, but I don't know. I feel like I think they fetishize us.
Really?
I think there's an aspect of fetishizing black women.
But that's around the world, isn't it?
It is around the world.
and for black men as well.
Black men as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then what's it like? So a bit about you. You grew up when did you come to Egypt then? So I mean, you told me you grew up in
2011. Yeah, I came to Egypt 2011 for my college education. Yeah. So I finished high school in Sudan and then I came here. Okay. Yeah, and when I came here, I initially did not have any understanding of I didn't feel different, or it didn't register to me that there was any kind of racism. In fact, I allowed it to happen for a very long time, which is very shameful.
In what ways?
In ways that I was okay with certain things being said around me, and I didn't stop them when I should have done. So I actually, in so many circumstances, just to fit in or not to feel, you know, outside the group, I would initiate it. Wow. You know, by being like, you know, fried chicken, I would just stereotype myself just to get laughs, and I feel very ashamed, but I didn't think that people would take it this far.
Wow. So and some people this brings me on then. So we spoke about like men and women now. What's it like between you as a person of color and amongst other women, amongst other Egyptian women, for example? Is there still that kind of ignorance as well, or?
Even more so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, definitely. Even more so. Like, they'll always it's always with the compliments. Yeah. They always feel like they need to give you a compliment to reassure you, like, you're beautiful in spite of being black. You're very beautiful, you know. Don't worry. You'll find someone. It's always like that. That's what I felt, and it takes away. It chips at your at your security, makes you insecure. But yeah, there's a bit of understand. Sometimes they'll say things about other girls in your presence. So I had this girl who like looked at this. I don't know what she said, and then she was like, oh my gosh, she's so black and dirty, no offense. And I just looked at her, and I didn't say anything, unfortunately, but if I had the awareness that I have now, she would have known that this is offensive, you know?
But then clearly you've gone through a transition then, from going from allowing it in your presence, initiating it, to now being so aware of it. How did you come to this realization, or come to this point to where you are today?
Well, it came because when I was, my initial childhood was in Saudi Arabia. I had no recollection of any kind of discrimination or anything. But later on, I was told that there was discrimination, of course, but I don't remember that. But then going into Sudan, I was a white girl. So everyone was treating me, in a sense, the girls hated me, but my family members, my dad's...
Why did the girls... Is it the same as other places where when you're light-skinned, you're desirable?
In a way, I think that's what I felt, or that's what the information that got to me, because Some guys thought I was pretty, other girls didn't like it. I don't remember, but they definitely didn't like me.
Okay.
And my family members just, it's like I was this foreigner, the family member they talk about, like, oh, Alaa and Ilham were in Saudi Arabia and their father, our uncle's married to this white woman, blah, blah, blah. And then you come and so they have you on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So they already kind of hate you for getting all that attention.
Yeah.
So that was, even though there were women there who were so much more prettier than us, but it's just because of the light
skin. Yeah.
Yeah. So there I was like the white girl. So I was treated in some way with a little bit more attention.
Okay.
And then I come to Egypt. I don't get that anymore.
Okay.
I don't get it at all. Like, I get the opposite of it. Yeah. So I kind of went through this identity crisis. Like, what is going on? Am I white? Am I black? And I was very confused about so many things. And then I started to, later on, I went back in retrospect to my behavior, and I realized that in order to fit in, I started to create struggles for myself, and I would get extra offended over things that I needed to listen to in a different light.
Okay.
So I think like the journey from going there to there is more of self-reflection.
Okay.
You need to understand your shortcomings in order to be able to grow.
Exactly.
And that was really important for me. I think I've reached that point now to be able to understand myself,
okay.
And the mistakes that I've done.
But how does that come about? Through reading? How did you do it personally?
Experience. You put yourself in a position where you fabricate a story, and this is like in the epitome of your insecurity. You fabricate stories to create a struggle of your own, and people around you like know that cut the
BS.
The BS. This is not real, and you find yourself in a position like, what am I doing? You are aware of what you're doing, but your insecurities are very loud.
Okay.
But you are very aware, and once you're calm enough to talk to yourself, and I think that comes when you don't have anything else to do.
Yeah.
So once I graduated, I had all the time in the world to just focus on me. What do I want to do?
Yeah.
What do I want to be?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
And once I started to talk to myself and understand myself, I realized that I was living in this mixture of emotion, and it was crazy. And it just comes with being honest and true to yourself, like being honest with yourself, brutally honest with yourself, and being able to admit it to the world and confront yourself with it.
So in your opinion then, that discovery is open to everyone then?
Absolutely.
And everyone can go
if
through
you're
that.
willing to see it.
Yeah.
If you're willing to be honest with yourself, because some people are very aware of their actions, they're very aware of their shortcomings, but they choose to ignore them.
Yeah.
They choose to excuse them. Like, I've gone through so much, I've done this, so they allow it to happen. But if you want to better yourself, there's a small voice in your mind that's telling you, cut the BS.
Okay.
This is not what you're, definitely, it's open for everyone.
Thank you. This has been like an awesome conversation. I'm going to just ask you if you're going to give some advice to other, let's say, women in your situation, to young girls out there, maybe in the West, or even those who are living in Egypt, those who are from mixed heritage. What would be your advice to them?
It's going to sound like a cliche, but when you really listen to cliches, they have something to say. Believe in yourself, love yourself, and remember that you don't have to identify to one culture. You can create your own culture. Okay. And there's beauty in that. Like, there's beauty. What I love, or what I'm trying to love about my life, is that I got different cultures and different identities from both my parents and personalities and the way I was brought up. Like, you can create an amalgam and a melting pot of your own culture, and it makes you more open to other people's cultures and more open to other people's differences. And there's beauty in that. And in 2019, at a time like this, you need that. Yeah. So just remember that, you are beautiful, you are strong, and most of these women want to be you. Yeah. So like, just do you.
Keep rocking.
Yeah, keep rocking.
Brilliant,
be Beyonce, always.
Brilliant, man. This has been an awesome conversation. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I think I'm going to have you again, inshallah.
Yes, you better. Again. Excited.
Guys, this has been an awesome conversation with Alaa. I'm going to post her socials in the comments, inshallah. I'm going to have her on again, having more conversations. People always ask me, have a woman's perspective. So I'm glad you're my first woman on my channel.
Oh, really?
So that's the honor that you have.
Yay.
So leave a like, comment, subscribe, and leave in the comments what we should talk about in the future. And until next time, peace out.
Thank you.